Yeah, I imitate him. I feel so tired. And then I have some issue with a coworker. I went to the restroom and then take a moment to calm your mind. And then I just ask, please give me the light, give me the peace. Suddenly, some spiritual light come down to me and I can energize it. It's like a candy for me. So even though you exhausted, but if you receive the refreshment, if you have the another supply, you can fight again. So I think your situation is so bad, but if you realize there is a lot of friends, family support you, you can get through this situation. Yeah.
And you're so lucky to watch this video now
Yes.
and get these tips because most people, most businessmen start their day reading the newspaper. It's not a good idea.
Yeah.
It's full of bad news. So it takes your energy. So on your way to work, why don't you read this twice more? Then you can get so much ideas. You can read it on the train, and then you can get your energy to deal with the day.
I think that I have some habit to master the book at least 30 minutes in a day. Without this habit, I cannot get out any vicious cycle. So from me, this book is not the book, it's the energy supply. Yeah? So when I get some difficult situation, I go back to home and then open his book and I refresh and refurbish and then re-energize. So if you have energy, you can get over everything. The problem is you don't have energy. So once you understand God or heavenly world exists and then try to help you, if you open heart, that energy is available to you any moment, any place.
Listening to your story, Master said the same thing in this book, page 61. Sources of learning are not limited to school textbooks. Everything, including the things you find in your surroundings and the people you encounter in the course of your life, can be great sources to learn from. How you make good use of them and apply them to your own life will determine whether your life will ultimately end in success or failure. So your colleague is bad person, but changing viewpoint, your colleague give you a chance to change your mind, and also he give you a chance to encounter great learning or great encounter of faith. So please change your viewpoint. What should I do using this great chance and to make mind or faith greater than before? And listening to you telling, I also think that in the movie, Ichijo-san have a very high goal, his goal. Maybe this is a different point of us. So what do you think of the idea? What do you think of that?
Yeah. So if you focus on the solving problems, it's not enough. If you focus on the higher ideal, the whole situation is kind of material for the growth. So I experienced karate. Karate is the kind of the martial arts in Japanese, and then I tried to break the wall or something. And then my master always said, focus on the beyond the object. So if I break the wall, my focus is not here. My focus is here. So that means that this is not my final goal. And then this part is my final goal. And then surprisingly, your maximum power is focused on that wall. So yeah, so higher ideal is kind of driving force to change your life. Yeah, without higher goal, you are stagnated in the current situation. So let me introduce some example. So I heard some episode about the situation. It's not a co-worker situation. It's a relationship with mother-in-law and the wife. Yeah. So in Japan, it's so severe issue. The relationship at the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Yeah. One lady have to live with very strict mother-in-law, and then many people worry about her because her mother-in-law is so famous for the harsh education. The mother-in-law has a strict rule, and then every homework has a rule. Without obeying her rule, the wife have to be punished, scolded. It's so severe. The wife, the daughter-in-law decided, I tried to imitate her, follow her instruction just 1 year. That is my limit. And then 1 year focus on her all effort. She decided and then she followed all instruction from mother-in-law. I mean, she open heart and then show humility and then show the willing to learn. And then the relationship suddenly changed. And surprisingly, half a year passed. Mother-in-law told her, there's nothing to teach you anymore. Yeah, so this episode gives me the power of education. So if you attach your current situation, your current work ability, you have to suffer and have to seek the praise for others. You obey, beg the forgiveness for others. But if you focus on your Buddha nature, and then Buddha nature is infinite potential, you can be anyone. So if you make effort, if you follow the laws and cause effect, you can be anyone, even Buddha. So if you trust your Buddha nature and then open heart, your life definitely change.
That makes me think about my own work situation.
Oh, yeah?
Wow, maybe I should be more humble. Good story.
Yeah.
I also like this part from the book. Yeah. From starting from the ordinary, page 28, the top. It says, no matter what kind of environment you find yourself in, if you shine like a diamond in your current situation, you will eventually find that a new path or a new life will open for you. I have come to know this is true. And he gives 3 attitudes to keep. One is always remember to make efforts. And the second attitude is have ideals, just what you guys talked about, something to live for. And 3 is, the important attitude is build up results each day. And we saw this in the movie as well because Ichijo-san was working hard. He was being bullied, but he kept making efforts. He had his ideal and he built tangible results each day. And then he was promoted above his coworker who was bullying him. So, as long as you focus on shining, on working hard and achieving your ideals, I think you will be surprised what happens.
I have a question. How do we get the high potential, high goal to change a mind or situation?
Yeah, if you want to think about your life goal,
Yes,
I think that's really important. Yeah, and also if you go to Happy Science temples and branch temples, and you can go to the prayer room and you can experience meditation, calm your mind, and think about what's your goal in your life and what's your goal for your work. And you can take notes and think deeply, or take a seminar, and if you can clarify what you want to achieve, I think that will help you a lot.
Yeah, so I'm still searching for the life goal, but I gradually understand I have some fate. Yeah, as you said, before we are born, we already decided some original plan. It's a kind of blueprint of life. So no matter how I struggle to different person, I cannot be. I need to be myself. I have to accomplish myself. It's like a seed. I have a seed. You have a seed, different kind of seed. You need to follow your seed. The how flourish depends on your effort, but you need to trust. You have a seed inside of you. That's a way to be blossom in the someday. So everything is kind of the preparation. So I focus like a master's movie. He always make best effort in any moment. That kind of attitude is a key to bloom your true potential.
I see. The seed is like true with nature.
What happens if you have two different ideas or two different life goals and you're confused? What should you do? What do you think?
I think that we have the kind of the dual project. Yeah, so I think that sometimes we like to some other things, but the theme of the life is always the same. Eh? For us, it's kind of the spreading the spiritual truth. To spreading truth, we can use any method. Sometimes we write a book, sometimes we sell the music, sometimes we make a movie, and then I think the theme of our goal of the life is kind of the same, but the method is available for us. Yeah. So I quote from page 164. It's like a potential. Master Oka said, "I do not blame you for being immature. Being immature also means you have infinite potential for progress. However, if this potential for progress is left unfulfilled, who is to blame? Who bears the sin for it? No one but each one of you can bear that sin." So we have the true potential, tremendous potential. It's called Buddha nature. But if you untap the potential, it's not the fault of the God of Buddha. It's us. Yeah.
On the next page it says, in essence, everyone has the same power as God.
Yeah, same power as God.
I think this is kind of the face. We have the potential to same as Buddha. That's why our face is connected, the potential to a reality. Their face is kind of goal, and the face kind of like a dragging rope for us.
Yeah. Master said in page 160, faith is the power that makes all the impossible possible. It eliminates all difficulties, makes all suffering disappear, and opens the direct road to God. Just you said like that. So we get the tremendous power from God to have faith. We can get to know how get a tremendous light or power from God. This book is written about that. So this is a miracle in this era.
And don't forget the power of prayer. So you can pray for guidance from your guardian spirit. And one of my favorite parts of the Victory of Faith is the part where Master Okawa prays so strongly and powerfully. It's so cool, very kakui, so please watch it. And he says like, to the thousands of, tens of thousands, page 174, to the 50,000 disciples who have gathered here, and then he looks up in the sky. Do you remember the part? And then he says, to the thousands or tens of thousands of Tathagatas and Bodhisattvas who have come today, to the beings of light in heaven, give us power to our sacred wish. That's the most exciting part for me. So you can do that too. You can pray and you can get power and you can get energy. Please don't hesitate.
About different thing, Master said in page 105, there are countless people in the world who wish to be loved by others or to be loved by a particular person. There are also many people who create suffering because they cannot receive the love they desire. Then how about your heart? when you look inside your heart, how much love do you have for others? So just reflect for me. When I get worried or when I was in the hard situation, I tend to only think myself and only think how do I get love from others. Maybe he is in like similar situation. How do I change colleague and then how to make his colleague give me love? So change viewpoint. What do I for him? This is very good point. Change viewpoint and